Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Min Tran, and welcome everyone to our Meet the Candidate today. And our candidate for the County Supervisors District 1 is Mr. Johnny Khamis. This Meet the Candidate is hosted by the Vietnamese in San Jose, a non-profit organization. The purpose of this Meet the Candidate is to understand more about the candidates in order for us to make the informed decisions. Kính chào quý vị. Buổi nói chuyện chúng ta hôm nay với ông candidate của County Supervisor District 1. Thì mục đích của chúng ta là để chúng ta tìm hiểu thêm về cái người ứng cử viên để chúng ta có một cái nhận định đúng đắn để chúng bầu cho những người mà xứng đáng nhất có thể làm cho county chúng ta tốt hơn. Cái người opponent tên là Sylvia Arenas. I invite her to join the debate today, but I haven't had a response, so I go on with Johnny. So thank you, Johnny, and can you briefly introduce yourself?
Oh, my pleasure, and thank you for inviting me. It's my honor. My name is Johnny Khamis. I'm actually an immigrant, like many of the Vietnamese community. I came here in 1976 during when Beirut, Lebanon was in a war. And so my family immigrated right here to San Jose. I grew up here. I had to learn a new language. I started my own business, like many entrepreneurs from immigrants that are entrepreneurs. And I became a council member for the city of San Jose, representing District 10, which is the South San Jose area near Blossom Hill and Santa Teresa. I did that for 8 years. I got into politics, and now I'm hoping to represent the community as the next supervisor for Santa Clara County's District 1, which is South San Jose, Evergreen, Silver Creek, and then Gilroy and Morgan Hill, and the Blossom Valley area.
Thank you for the really nice introductions. So the first question would be, can you give us a little background, the difference between the county versus the city?
Absolutely. Not a lot of people know what the county does. And forgive me for being a little bit glib, but so you have to understand what the county does. So if you could put this in your mind, they actually help the naughty and the needy. So with the naughty, the people who are doing crime, they take care of the sheriff, the jail system, the parole system. Both sides, the public defender and the district attorney, are all paid for by the county. And then when they get out of jail, the parole system, and then the reintegration program. For the needy, they take up all the social services. So the drug addiction programs, the mental health programs, the food stamp program, the foster care program, the housing, the Section 8 housing. They also have thousands of units that they help relocate people. And so they take care of all the social services for the county. And the cities actually don't do any of those things. The city may do a little bit of housing, and then they clean up homeless encampments. But the true responsibility for social services lies within the county's responsibility. Again, the naughty and the needy.
Got it. Thank you. So what is the role of the county supervisor? What do you really do?
Well, the county supervisor gets to oversee the entire budget of the county. And a lot of people don't know, but the county actually has 3 times as much money as the city of San Jose. They have an $11.5 billion annual budget.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And a lot of it goes to the hospitals. They actually run 4 hospitals, and they do most of this stuff is social services. So
Bascom is one of the hospitals.
Bascom? Bascom Clinic.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. There's the O'Connor, there's the Valley Med. Valley Med is the big one.
Yes.
Yes. And then they have some in Morgan Hill and Gilroy. They have St. Louis Hospital. They have there's another one called the DePaul Medical Center in Morgan Hill. So they own a lot of clinics. They just built a Vietnamese clinic not too far away from Monterey Road.
On Center Road.
Center Road, sorry, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So the people are walking everywhere in San Jose right now, in the county of Santa Clara in general. In fact, everywhere we drive these days, homeless are everywhere. I think this question probably being asked to you and other candidates quite a bit of times and repeated it. And we really want to know what is the solution to this homeless crisis.
Well, there's a lot of solutions because it's not one thing that makes people homeless. My strategy, and I actually have a plan. I have a 6-point plan that I put on my website, www.johnnycamis.com, and what that plan entails is understanding what caused the root causes of homelessness. 42% of the people who are homeless are mentally ill. 35% are drug addicted.
Okay.
27% are people who left the prison system. So unless you address the causes of homelessness, you're never going to solve homelessness. There's a lot of people who lost their jobs and things like that too, but the vast majority of people are mentally ill, drug addicted, or people who have left the prison system unprepared for life outside the jail, right? So I have ideas. Number one is to create inpatient medical centers, meaning that you get in and mandate treatment. So it's not like you go in and out. So this is not an in and out service. This is an in until you're addicted. Your addiction is over. So you mandate treatment for the people who are drug addicted and the people who are mentally ill, and for up to a year of time. It's a new law that passed, and I want to implement it. So we need new clinics that handle mental health and drug addiction, and that'll help with about 60% of the people out there if we can get them through the court system and into mandated treatment. Okay, that we never have done that before.
That's pretty hard.
It is, and it again, the laws weren't there to allow us to do it, but there's a new law that I want to implement. The county already said no, but I want to change. It was a 3-5 vote, 3-2 vote, and I want to. Once I'm there, I'm hoping to change that dynamic and hopefully implement these new programs. So, a lot of people think that there's not enough room in the county for homeless people, but that some of the hospitals that we talked about are empty. So we can use these hospitals like the DePaul Medical Clinic to create an inpatient center for people to kick the drug addiction or to get help with mental illness. One more thing that I have, and I'm not going to talk about all my 6-point plan, but one more plan is to train people. Right now, when people get out of jail, they're offered these services voluntarily. So you get out of jail, and the county says, hey, we could teach you a skill. We could teach you to become a mechanic, a plumber, a contractor, and they'll pay for you to get the skills, and they'll pay for your drug addiction. But that happens after they get out of jail. I want to take these programs and move them into the jail so that while they're in jail, they're learning a new skill.
Okay.
And so people like my plan so much that the Mercury News has endorsed me. The person that's running for sheriff, they like my ideas. So a lot of these ideas are very well respected, and I think that they're very doable if I get elected.
Well, thanks for letting us know your plans.
Yeah. There's several more that I didn't talk about, but they're on the website.
Sure. Yesterday I read the news from the city of Portland, Oregon. The mayor of city of Portland actually create a ban, a law that ban all the homeless people that camp on the street, and he will create they call a tent city per se, or the tent camping sites, so that the city will control these places and provide treatment, provide medicals, cleanups, and etc., food, etc. Do you support that idea, or what do you think about that idea?
Well, I don't think that we should criminalize people who are homeless, but I don't want to see them in front of a business. I don't want to see them, just all over our creeks and polluting the rivers. So I do support, and when I was a council member, I did support designated areas.
Okay.
But I don't want them everywhere. We need to have places where they can take showers, get food, and then get into the social services, so that they don't stay homeless. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, I'm hoping to address the root causes of homelessness,
Okay.
which is if you go and talk to the homeless people, a lot of them are drug addicted, a lot. And so if you don't cure them, or at least try to help them get over the drug addiction, they're going to go back into homelessness and become drug users again. So, I want to be able to. Having a space for them is very important, and I think the county has lots of space. You've seen the hospital, St. Louis Hospital. It's sitting on 80 acres of land.
Yeah, by 101.
By 101, and so you can create 5 acres. You can put temporary housing. You can use. There's one entire building that's not being used in St. Louis Hospital. An entire building not being used, and so we can use these facilities wisely instead of letting them go to waste. And so yes, I am a believer, but I don't think we should just put them in a facility. We need to work on helping them get over the things that got them to become homeless.
Okay, thank you for that. So let's move on to the second topic, abortions. A lot of people talk about abortion today, and Prop 1 from the California. Do you support abortion and Prop 1?
So I am I'm a pro-choice person. I don't believe in late-term abortions. The ones that are if they have a heartbeat and if they live without the mother, I don't think it's a good idea. But I do support. I'm a pro-choice. I'm pro-choice. I definitely want women to have the opportunity to have control over their own bodies. Absolutely.
Thank you for the answer. But we move on to the next topic, which is public safety. I mean, you moving on from the homeless to criminal activities. I mean, our friend right here, they got break in today, last night. What are the plans to at least try to stabilize or reduce criminal activity in the Greater Bay of San Jose and Santa Clara County?
Well, I can tell you the stuff that I have control over. Of course, I don't like the laws that passed. I worked against like Prop 47 and 57, which actually made break-ins like this almost not punishable. They're misdemeanors, right? Okay. And so that's something at the state level that I'd love to continue to advocate against, right? But at the county level, they're also releasing prisoners early. And as I told you, a lot of these prisoners leave the jail and they don't have a skill, they don't have a job, and so and there's no incentive while they're in jail. So my thinking is to move the skills training inside the prison and let them know if you get a skill, then we'll let you out early. But I wouldn't let people out early until they serve their time. And right now, those decisions are being made by parole officers and not by judges. And so I want to change that back and let the judges decide whether they get out early or not. So it's now an administrative hearing. It used to be a judicial hearing for early release, and it's no longer the case. I want to reverse that, and I want to make it an incentive. If you become a plumber or an electrician or you get or a car mechanic, then we'll let you out. So that's the kind of thing that I want to do to allow people leaving the jail system to be better prepared for life outside jail. And so I think that's very important because a lot of people are very unprepared and there's a lot of recidivism. If you look at the statistics, and I do, I'm a very big numbers guy. So if you look at the statistics, a lot of the people that are committing crime have already committed crime. So they've already been caught. And so, if we can work on those people who are frequent users of the jail system, then I think we can curb crime quite a bit. Okay. And so I think the only way is to get them out of their habit and get them into a skill.
Sounds like a good plan. Thank you for that. Let's move on to the housing crisis. I know it's very hard topic to discuss, but also an issue that's very hard to resolve. How do we stop people from leaving the Santa Clara County or San Jose and go to Texas and other states? Because right now a lot of people can afford living here. Do we have any any plan to address those issues?
You know, the county's very much responsible for housing.
Yes.
Because they actually taxed our taxpayers with Measure A.
Mhm.
They created a new property tax, and it was supposed to go $1 billion was supposed to go to help build 4,800 units. That tax passed in 2016, and they were supposed to be built by 2026, so
Okay.
10 years.
Mhm.
Right now, we only have 500 units that are available. And the last one that was actually built, the approved down the street here, Santa Clara, 80 units for $80 million. So we're never going to be able to get 4,800 units at $1 million a unit. I actually have several ideas on creating low-income housing and workforce housing. Not meaning you have a job, right? But you just can't afford to live here. That's what I mean by workforce housing.
Okay.
People who are like nurses or teachers that they still can't afford to live here. So the county can easily buy existing complexes and convert them into low-income housing. If you go down the street here in Santa Clara, you'll see brand new buildings that are empty, completely brand new and empty. The county can easily use their $1 billion to buy floors of housing, and they only cost $600,000 or so dollars.
Right.
Way cheaper than building and way faster than building. I think I'm going to take that idea with me.
Okay.
One of the things that I've done in the city of San Jose is reduced fees, reduce costs. We reduce costs for the construction. We cut it in half for downtown high-rise. We also cut it in half for ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units. These are those small units in the
Yes.
back of every house.
Uh-huh.
And so it was my memo, along with other people's memo, where we cut the fees almost by 3/4. And then we reduced the regulation, and we reduced the wait time for a permit, and had a dedicated person responsible for permits. We also did what they called prefab. If you pre-approval. So if you're going to put a house that's already been built and designed, it's the same unit, you're already automatically approved for your permit. So there's things you could do at the county to do the same thing. When we did that for ADUs, we used to only have 30 ADU permits per year. Last 6 months, just the last 6 months, we've had 600 ADU units approved. So if I'm a big believer that if you want more of something, you reduce the fees, you reduce the wait time, and you reduce the regulations, and that way you get more. And we can't keep raising the cost of developing and then blame it on the developers for not developing, right? So anyway, those are some of my ideas.
Sound good.
Yeah.
One of the hot topic also will be the undocumented voters.
Yeah.
Do you actually support those ideas?
No, I'm an immigrant. I came here as a refugee from Beirut, Lebanon. We waited 9 years to become citizens.
Me too.
I had to, yeah. Well, I had to study, and I had to become, my parents. We studied, and we took the test, and we became citizens, and we are very proud citizens of the United States. This is our home. But if somebody comes here on a visa to learn something, they're not attached to this community. They're not. If they didn't come here and didn't follow the rules, why should we give them the right to vote? And quite frankly, if we could just get the people who are already registered to vote, that would be better than allowing new people to vote. Because if you look at the last election, 30% of the people voted. 30% of the people who are registered to vote voted.
That's very low.
It's extremely low.
Yes.
So why don't we just encourage the people who are already registered to vote?
Yes.
My opponent, who actually wrote the memo to allow these things, she doesn't understand. She says because they're taxed, because you pay a sales tax at the grocery store or whatever, that you have a right to vote. That's not true. You pay a sales tax to get the services, the police, the fire, and the roads, the lights. That's what your tax dollars are for, not for voting. So there's a lot of misconception out there with voting rights, and I want. It's not that I don't want more citizens to vote. I do, but let's work on the ones that are already registered.
There you go. So we have the message for all the voters out there. Go to vote. Pick your candidate and vote. That would be lovely, right?
Absolutely.
So the one of the last question we have for you is what message do you have for the Vietnamese American voters?
You know, again, I'm a proud immigrant like many of you. You know, we've grown up here in San Jose, and I have seen, you know, crime go up, homelessness go up, you know, and it's becoming very hard to live here. I want to live in a safe community, a clean community where we don't see people suffering on our streets. The county has been mismanaging its money for a long time. I'm hoping that you put somebody who understands finance, somebody who has new ideas on solving homelessness, somebody who actually has ideas on reducing costs of construction so that we can all afford to live here. Look, we can't keep electing the same people with the same not working ideas and expect different results. It's time for new leadership and it's time for new ideas, and I'm hoping that all of you will vote for me in this November.
Well, that concludes our segment for Meet the Candidate for today. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to invite all the voters in San Jose and Santa Clara County to go to vote. Because if you don't vote, your vote doesn't count, and it doesn't help anybody else. You need to go to vote, right?
Absolutely. Look, you don't complain unless you're willing to go vote.
Exactly.
Don't complain.
So chương trình gặp gỡ candidate đến bây giờ là chấm dứt. Xin kính chào quý đồng hương và hẹn gặp lại. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.